line, but you may not know where to start. My good friend, investment advisor, and children finance author Prince Dykes joined me recently to share some advice with you.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
No problem. It's good to see you again. It seems like we've been together yesterday.
I know. Time flies, especially when you're having fun.
Yes, that is right. So let's get right to it. So what's the first steps for someone who never invested before?
Oh, for someone who's never invested before, when you go into this daunting world of the world of investing, people on TikTok, Instagram, they're watching reels. Every second you turn around, today we have too much information. Every second you turn around, if it's either it's cryptocurrency, it's this stock, it's options, it's futures, it's real estate, it seems like it could be so much. But I tell people to look at three sectors of the market. Either you're going to be investing into, number one, a business, starting your own, or investing into someone else's business, or starting a franchise, or partnering with the franchise. Number two, you're going to be in some form of real estate, whether you're going to be buying a house, renting a house, doing something in the real estate market. And number three, you're going to be in stocks, which consists of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and things like that. And you have to know how much money do you have and how much money can you afford to invest and how much money do you need? Ask yourself those three questions. Now, when you look into stocks are very cheap and easy to get into. Because for prime example today, you look at a company like Apple is $100 and something, something that you can spend at Outback Steakhouse. And you're looking at, let's say, Amazon, right? Those are cheap, inexpensive things to get into. Whereas in real estate, it's not too much you're going to do with $200 unless you're leveraging up with some type of credit and things like that. Or you look at starting a business, it's going to be a little tough to start out there with $200 too. But that's why people kind of lean towards, hey, I want to get into the world of investing. I want to start off, I will look at someone, look into the public markets, and you go into the public markets, I will start out with the S&P 500, which is a broad-based index of the top 500 companies in America.
So the S&P 500, should we just choose one company from that group or more than one company from that group?
If I was to start out, I will start out with the S&P 500 in general, because you can purchase the entire index. Today, you have companies like SWPPX. That's the stock symbol for Charles Schwab, S&P 500. You have Vanguard, which is VOO, which is the stock symbol for them. And you also have the traditional one, which is the SPY, which is the SPY, which runs about $400. And you can pay $400, make it an investment, have a dividend yield about 1%, something like that, what it is today. And you can buy that on a consistent basis. And that's your top 500 companies in America. And quite frankly, it's very hard to beat the S&P 500, which over the last 120 something years has averaged somewhere between 8 to 10% a year. So that would be my first step, to go with America. And then once you already invested into America, then you can, once you get a little bit of knowledge and become a little bit more comfortable with things, then you can look into individual companies, individual stocks, and then you can go off into the the world of options and futures and all those other great things.
Hey, you mentioned this earlier, but how much money should we have in order to invest in stocks? Should you have maybe $500, $1,000, $20? Well, what's the perfect amount for someone?
I would tell someone, start with whatever you can start with. If it's $20, $500, but I would tell someone, save up to you at least get $500 and start early and do it as often as possible. I mean, best thing is to start as a child. And with the technology that we have today, you can buy fractional shares. Meaning if you can't buy an entire share of Apple, you can buy a piece of Apple, or you can buy a piece of the index. So there's really no excuse to why you aren't investing, because every day we wake up, we are investing into these same exact companies. We're using Amazon, we're using Apple, we're using Facebook, Google, Walmart, Target. So you're spending on one end, but are you investing on the other end? So I would say, if I was someone, I would try to save up my first $500 and then do it on a consistent basis, whether that's weekly.
Absolutely. So what would be some of those tools that you would recommend a beginner use when it comes to these stocks?
I would say, if you're a beginner and you're looking to invest, it's two ways. Take me, for example. I'm not a handy person. You're not going to catch me in my garage on a weekend changing out my motor. Or you're not going to catch me changing my motor or changing my oil and none of that, right? but that doesn't mean I'm not going to take care of my vehicle or my truck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a mechanic. If I'm very mechanically inclined, then I would try to do it myself. So when it comes down to the world of investing, if you're not someone who has the time to do something or to look into it, seek out professional help. Licensed professional help in your area. That's very easy to find. You can look at broker check and find, advisors around your area, someone that you're comfortable with. And if you're someone that says, I want to do it myself, I want to look at it, I want to learn these things myself, the first thing I would do is start to, if you're a social media person, start to follow certain social media things that you could, people that you can trust. But I would learn how to evaluate a business, learn to read financial statements, using experience, going to conferences, networking.